Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Rainer and this is Rainier Books. In this video I'm going to wrap up week number 35 for you. What happened over the last week, what engaged me, what I read and what I'm planning to read in the future. So let's get started. I woke up on Monday morning, pretty soon after I wake up I always check my phone. I don't know what you do. And so I checked my phone and I saw in Dagens Nyheter, the biggest Swedish newspaper, a horrible news that made me very sad and had me sad for a couple of days whenever I think of him over the week, because it said Justin Townes Earle died age 38. Justin Townes Earle was an Americana singer, an alternative country singer. I loved his albums. I have many songs of him that I really love. Songs like Harlem River Blues, songs like Rogers Park, Kids in the Street, and many others. So his music meant a lot to me. I saw him in concert 3 years ago before I took my first trip to the United States in the summer of 2017, and he looked kind of okay. Justin had a long story of drug abuse. He started using drugs when he was 13 or 14 years old. He grew up in very difficult circumstances, and he seemed to have hit a good way into his life. He was like 36, 35 years old. He had just married. He was the father of a child, of a daughter. But then the news came on Monday that Justin has died, and this really made me very sad, and it's horrible to see that he probably, as the National Police said, has overdosed and died of drug abuse. So he left the drugs, but he came back to the drugs, and they finally got him. They killed him. And he talked about drugs when he was in Stockholm, about using drugs, and he said that the question that society should pose is not how is not how can I punish people to make them stop using drugs. The question that society should ask is what hurts? What hurts so much that people go to drugs and tend to drugs and take drugs? Well, that's what got me on Monday. Then I went to the city of Stockholm over the week. I was once in the city, and I brought with me a couple of things that I want to show you now. Wednesday today, I'm on my way home from a meeting at office, and I'm going back to the home office, and I'm walking over Hötorget here, and I'm going to show you the concert hall here in Stockholm, and the market. That would be the concert house. I've seen John Hyatt perform here many years ago. I saw the Portuguese photo queen Marija here, and here also the Nobel Prize is being handed over every year in December. The Royal Dramatic Theatre here in Stockholm at beautiful, from the 18th century, and well, Kungsträdgården, the King's Garden, and right in the middle of Stockholm. A park that many tourists visit every year. Many Stockholmers do visit. Much has happened here, good things and bad things, that I can tell you over the years and over the decades. It's always nice to walk here. Of course, nicer in the spring and in the summer, like now in the end of August 26th today. Yeah, 26th of August. walking towards Hamngatan, which is also one of the central streets here, and then very close to the subway and on my way home. This is Sergels Torg, and the area down below is simply called Plattan in colloquial Stockholm slang. It has always been one of the major points where people would sell drugs for decades, generations of dealers and users. That's pretty quiet today, isn't it? A little gymnastic here, little games here, and there's the subway station. And I see you soon in my studio. Strand, under that street up there. Beautiful venue where I've seen lots of concerts in the last couple of years. I don't remember all the bands that I've seen. I have to think about it, and we'll write it somehow in the video. But it was here, and it was closed. It's going to close because they have to work on that street up there. And they will close down the venue, and there will be no more concerts here at, as you can see, the D-Baser. How's it called? Other things that happened this week. One positive thing that happened this week is Bolton Bankrupt is back. I don't know if you know the guy. He's from Brighton in England. He calls himself Bolton Bankrupt. That's his YouTube channel, and he does a lot of trips. He did a lot of trips to the former Soviet Union, that's his speciality, but he has also traveled to India and to Africa, and he makes great funny videos. He's a very funny guy, and I love his videos. He has 2.1 million subscribers to his channel. That's my goal for the future. And Balt is back because a couple of weeks ago he disappeared from YouTube because he had gotten COVID-19. He was in Belgrade, he was very sick, and he came back with a short video after recovery, and then it took like 2 months until he got back. So Balt is back, and I'm going to link his channel down in the description below, even if he doesn't need any kind of advertisement from a very modest little booktuber like me. But maybe you like his videos, that's why I do it. Then another news this week was that the Dutch writer Marieke Lucas Reineveld, she won the International Booker Prize for her debut novel, for their debut novel. I'm sorry, Marieke, because Marieke is a non-binary person. They won the International Booker Prize for Discomfort of Evening. Disturbing novel, as far as I've heard. I don't know so much about it, but I ordered it from my local library. I've reserved it, but the problem is 12 people are ahead of me. I'm number 12 for one copy of the book, which means that I probably have to wait 6 months to get. The good news though is that I have to read so many other books that I won't be bored until I get my hands on Discomfort of Evening by Marieke Lucas Reineveld. I also ordered, because I want to start reading the Deutscher Buchpreis, the winners of the German Buchpreis, backwards. I have ordered Saša Stanišić novel Herkunft, which would be Origin in English, from the library here in Stockholm, and I will read it, and I will also review it on this channel, even if it's not in English. So that's news for you. And one more thing, of course, I had never heard, and this is again bad news, I'd never heard before of the city of Kenosha in the state of Wisconsin at Lake Michigan. But unfortunately we heard of Kenosha this week, and we heard twice of Kenosha and several times of Kenosha, because first another Afro-American man was shot by police 7 times in the back. 7 bullets in the back of Jacob Blake. I think that was Monday. and the man is paralyzed. He has survived and he's paralyzed for the rest of his life probably. That's incredible. People started protesting, and on the day after the shooting of the police who tried to kill Jacob Blake, a 17-year-old all-American boy by the name of, I think, Kyle Rittersberger or something, went on the streets of Kenosha with his automatic rifle and killed 2 of the protesters and injured more people. That is horrible. And I just wonder, when will the United States, my friends over there, when will you get rid of those guns? I mean, the majority of people I know wants to get rid of most of the guns, but there's a small minority that keeps the guns in every man's hand, and even 17-year-olds can walk out on the streets and kill innocent people. That's outrageous. Michelle Obama has spoken about that very verbally and very good, I think, and I tried to find that video and link it down below as well. That was Kenosha, Wisconsin. Horrible events over there. And now to the reading part. I had a bad reading week. I'm still looking for the killer of The Two Janes, with Louise Luna and her private detective Alice Viga and her assistant Cap. I'm still on the hunt after the killers of these 2 girls in the vicinity of San Diego, California. So that's where I am. But I thought, in order to get my reading better, to read more in the next couple of days, in the next couple of weeks, I need to make a plan. And that's why I made a TBR. Not a TBR that I'm going to cling to very drastically, but a TBR with a couple of books that I put here on my windowsill that I'm going to pick books from over the next weeks, that I have something to look forward to. And I told you already last week that I'm definitely going to start How Much of These Hills is Gold by Sipam Zhang, the novel about 2 Chinese Asian American girls trying to bury their father in the 19th century in California. How much of these hills is gold? That's definitely something I'm going to look at. Another book that I have from the library, I think it's a winner of the Women's Prize. It was one of President Barack Obama's favorite reads of 2017, it says here. I don't know if you can read it, you can't read it. This is Naomi Alderman's novel, The Power, which I have from the Stockholm City Library. It came from Tensta Bibliothek. Electrifying, shocking, will knock your socks off, then you'll think twice about everything, says Margaret Atwood here in a blurb. I know it's some kind of dystopia about women having all the power on the planet, isn't that the reason? The Power. Yeah, she won the Orange Prize for women for this one. I'm usually not that much into fantasy, and here it's from the Stockholm Library, from Tensta Library. They have actually stamped it with fantasy, but I will give it a try to read Naomi Alderman and her novel The Power, maybe, because as I said, I have a bunch of books that I'm going to pick from depending on how I feel. It's a good mixture. Then I have this Korean thriller. I have mentioned it before in a book haul. It's called The Plotters by Soo Eun Kim. It was a big success in South Korea. And this is, the author was born in 1972 in Busan in South Korea. The plotters are there's a young killer in the book who is the main figure, and I think it's a very exciting novel that combines thriller with a very South Korean way of telling horror stories. So this is very interesting. The Plotters by Eun Soo Kim is one of the books that I might read over the course of the next week. Then I have, as I told you last week already, it would be Night in Caracas for the Women in Translation Month. Oh my God, that's over already on Tuesday. I have this book from Venezuela, Karina Sainz Borgo, with It Would Be Night in Caracas. I think they say in Venezuela. I have picked another book that I bought. This is Nightingale Point by Luan Goldie, about the life and times in a British estate, which I might pick. I have still here, I think it's another winner of the women's prize, Lisa McInerney's The Glorious Heresies. And I have still Burnt Shadows here by Kamila Shamsie. You see, it's a lot of women here, a lot of women. I have The Golden State by Lydia Kisling is one of those books that I will pick from, and the one for having at least one male author. I have Michael Donkor's Hole here. So these are the books that I'm going to pick from in the next couple of days, next couple of weeks. I also have a Kindle copy. I got an advanced copy of NetGalley. Thank you very much, both to the publisher and to NetGalley, for giving me, for sending me a copy of Jack by Marilynne Robinson, which I definitely want to read before the end of September when it's going to be published. Marilynne Robinson has written a couple of novels about the fictitious town of Gillette in Iowa. So Jack is the newest one. I think the 4th or 5th already in that series. So that's all about, those are the titles that I have. I also have acquired some new Audible books, but I will talk about them later. I still owe you a single review of Brit Bennett's novel, The Vanishing Half. I deliver that tomorrow, hopefully. But this is for today, and I thank you very much for watching this. Drop me a comment if you read any of the books that I've mentioned, and tell me which one to read first. Which one is the best of them? Which one should I pick first after I found the killer of the Janes, together with Louise, Luna, and Alice Vega. Thank you very much for watching today. Have a great weekend, and be safe, and see you. Bye-bye.